Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Power and Science of Money podcast. It's brought to you by your man, King Freeze. This is the second attempt at going live because I messed up the first one, but we right back on it. Now, my title of this, is obvious. You can see it. It's right there, right across the screen. Get rich slow. I know it's get rich fast, but that's not normally how it happens. But let me tell you how to get rich slow. Now, let me actually just throw the word rich completely out of the window because rich will be an outcome. And sometimes in some meaning, it may be subjective what you believe rich is. But let's just say that you're comfortable. You want to be rich. And how I define rich may be different than how you define it. But how I define rich is being able to continuously earn cash and stack cash and outpacing my expenses. In that way, I'm not worried about anything that may happen in my life down the road, coronavirus or losing a job or any kind of, ill fate that may happen to my family or anything that surrounds me or the company that I work for. Yes, I still do work for a company, even though I technically don't at this point need to work for anyone. But here's what you need to do is what I've done is that I took a very detailed inventory of my expenses all the way down from every dollar that I spend every single day, every single week, every single month. I know where each and every dollar that I put out goes. I know exactly where it goes. And I look at what my income is and I live below my means. Pretty much. If I make, I'm throwing numbers out there. If I make $100K, I'm trying to live off substantially less than that. And the first thing that I do, first and foremost, when I get my payday, the first time I get my payday, the first thing you should do is what I do, is I take 10% and I give it to myself. 10% straight off the rip, I give it to myself. You should be doing the same thing. If you're not paying yourself first, then I don't know what you're doing. And then the other 70% you use to spend on your regular daily expenses of everything else that you do. You pay your rent, you feed yourself, whatever it is, your debt or whatever. And the other 20%, that's, you can stack that up as well. And normally I just go back and I normally what I end up doing really is I start putting the extra 20% into a post Roth IRA or some kind of post retirement fund, and I try to max that out as well. So the first thing you should do is pay yourself, whether that's in the form of taking that money and putting in Fidelity and starting your, some kind of retirement account, Roth IRA, traditional IRA, or something. You need to invest it in, growth stock mutual funds if you want to, but pay yourself first. The first thing you should be doing is paying yourself. If you're not doing that, you're robbing yourself. Pay yourself first. You worked hard for that money. Don't give it to anybody else. So I do it in the form of a 401k to my organization. I max it. I max out, at least 10 to 15% of my, it's not max, but that's what I give. 10 to 15% of my pay I give straight to my 401k. Why do I do that? Because it's pre-tax for one, so it means I don't get taxed on it. So I'm saving money right there off the jump. And I saved it before I even touched it. That way, that's the best way to keep yourself from spending that money. Because sometimes when you get that money in your hand, it's hard not to spend it. But I take that money out before I even touch it, before Uncle Sam even gets to touch it. Nobody gets to touch that money. I have paid myself first. The other 70% of what remains, I pay my bills, I take care of my things because I have everything written down and I know exactly how much I need to spend per month or per week. And then the rest of it, I either dump it into a Roth IRA or I put it in some kind of other investment such as a growth stock mutual funds. Why can I not say that word today? Anyway, so you put, and I continue to do that month after month. I just keep compounding, and the power of compound interest works in my favor. And eventually you will get to a position to where you look back at it and you say, well, God dang, what happened? Where did all this money come from? Because what you're going to realize once you put yourself on a budget, you're going to understand it's not that hard to live on a budget. Most people hate the word budget. But budget is a word. It's not a nasty word. It's saying that you're being organized. Wait a minute. First off, make sure y'all hit the like button. Shout out to the horns for everybody out there. Make sure you hit that like button. We in the building tonight, so make sure you smile and hit that subscribe button. We're streaming live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and as soon as I figure it out, Instagram. Well, anyway, we upload these episodes to Instagram so you can catch it there. You can catch me on Twitch as well under Power and Science of Money Podcast. For all those that have been rocking with your boy, we know we are in episode 8 right now. And also, you can make sure that you check out my dance studio, K-Pass Japan, KPAS.JAPAN, Japan. Man, we're blowing up right now on Instagram. We're killing it. We started a thing called K-Pass TV, and we're doing all kind of amazing things. But back to the money talk. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's that simple. It's that simple. You pay yourself first. You don't get yourself stuck into all these kind of overnight sensation wins like cryptocurrency. Before you get started, I love cryptocurrency. I have cryptocurrency, but it's not my main goal to get rich. Some people have decided that cryptocurrency is their road to success because they've heard about X, Y, and Z, getting rich off of it. But 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work like that for you because a lot of people don't even understand how market cap and circulating supply works. They don't understand how the order book works. They don't understand how easily manipulated the market can be, manipulated, and they don't understand liquidity first and foremost. So that's why that should not be your main plan. It can be part of your plan, but not your main plan. But the first thing is to making sure, like I was saying before, put yourself on a budget and understand that budget isn't a bad thing. A budget is meaning that you're being organized and intentional of where you put your money at. You're directing cash to certain locations. You're like a general. You're a general in charge of this army of cash, and you sending them out there on missions. You're saying like, hey, you go to 401k. Hey, you go to my Roth IRA. Hey, you go to my my mutual funds. Hey, you go to my Bitcoin. Hey, you go to my Cardano. You directing. You're giving orders and they're executing. Because the beautiful thing about money does not need to rest at all. Money's not asking for no kind of health care or they're not asking for equal rights. They're not asking for, breaks and vacation time and sick leave. They're not asking for any of that. Money works 24/7 all around the clock tirelessly. And on top of that, your money is actively out there. Sticking with the military analogy, your money is out there actively recruiting more money to work for you as well. And then on top of that, you're actively recruiting more money in the form of working day to day, generating income, and you putting those military money supply out there to work for you as well, to continue to do the same thing. And eventually what happens is that you end up sitting on so much stack of cash that you don't even know what to do with it. But here's the other key. This is where discipline kicks in. Because most people, when they make a lot of money, the first thing they want to do is spend a lot of money. That's counterintuitive, right? You did all this extra work in order to save up a bunch of money, and now you want to go and blow it on a bunch of bull crap, right? Because you want to look like a millionaire. You want to look rich. You want to look like somebody that has something. There's a book that I read recently, reread recently, called, what was it called? The Millionaire Next Door. They talk about PAWs and UAWs. UAWs under accumulators of wealth, and PAWs are prodigious accumulators of wealth. Now, UAWs are normally the people that live in a high-rise neighborhood. They drive the latest car. They look the way that you feel that someone with a lot of money should look. But when you look at their net worth doesn't equal out to what they should have, considering the money that they have, how old they are. There's an equation for that. You can actually find that if you type into the Google, say, Millionaire Next Door, UAW or PAW equation, and put that calculation in there, put the numbers in there, and it'll tell you essentially what you should be worth, pretty much. But most UAWs don't have as much money as you believe them to have. They're actually drowning in debt. But PAWs are the prodigious accumulators of wealth, those are the people that are driving 4-year-old cars. They never buy brand new cars. These cars that they own are 4 years old when they purchase it, and they hold them for a substantial amount of time. Now, this is not just guesswork or anecdotal evidence of one or two millionaires. They did an extensive survey of, I don't know how many millionaires, but a lot. They did substantial research. They did substantial research on prodigious accumulators of wealth. And what they found is that these people live way below their needs, and they look like the person that lives next door to you. Matter of fact, one of the biggest groups of people that are considered PAWs are teachers. You know how many teachers you live next door to? That teacher potentially could be a millionaire. You don't even know it. Because the millionaire next door doesn't look like the millionaire next door. They look like the guy next door that just, out there mowing his own lawn, washing his own car, wearing the same jeans, day in and day out, and never looks flashy, never wore a Gucci suit in his life. But if you don't believe that book, because that book I think was written in, or at least published in the 90s, so I can't remember exactly when it was written. But there's a second book that you can read by Chris Hogan called give me a second right here. It's a book by Chris Hogan. I've read this one. I can't believe I can't remember the name of the book because it's one of the books of Everyday Millionaires. Now, they surveyed 10,000 millionaires, and they pretty much had the same results as the Millionaire Next Door survey. Prodigious accumulators of wealth do not live beyond their means. They normally have rather boring lives. They never got to their millions in some kind of crazy fashion, as far as investing heavily in stocks or some kind of overnight sensation. Like they didn't create, Apple or Intel, or they just regular born people that did one thing consistently. Consistency and discipline. They did one thing consistently and with discipline. They paid themselves first, they lived on a budget, and they continued to save any excess cash and invested it wisely after doing rigorous studies and understanding what they were investing into, and they continued to do that over a lifetime. Most of them became millionaires by the age of 49. And that's another thing. That's why I call this Get Rich Slow scheme. Because it's going to take you a while. Sometimes it takes you up to 20 to 30 years, but it's all dependent on you. If you're a young 18-year-old listening to this podcast right now, if you start doing these small things, staying out of debt, not getting credit cards, not living above and beyond your means, and like Dave Ramsey says, living like nobody else, so later you can live like nobody else, or something like that. Anyway, the point is that you have to be able to be irregular, because being regular is going to get you what regular people get. Oh man, I just dropped that bomb right there. Shout out to that. Because are you going to get rich if you're spending as much money as you make?
Nope.
No way. It ain't possible. It's not mathematically possible. Sit down, do the math. If you make $10,000 a month, well, you'll be an amazing person if you did. You make $10,000 a month, but you spend $12,000 a month, you're not making any money. So are you going to be a prodigious accumulator of wealth?
Nope.
No way. You're not going to be one. But if you live below your means and you continue to show discipline and consistency and keep stacking your money, will you become a prodigious? Will you become a PAW? Yes, you will. If you said yes, you are on the right track. And I promise you, anyone that tells you differently doesn't know what they're talking about. Everyone has a friend that did some amazing things. Somebody always has a friend that made a killing on the stock market. Everyone has a friend that made $1 million XYZ kind of way. But most people do not understand that is an outlier. That's not the norm. Surveys have shown you have to trust the numbers. Women lie, men lie, numbers never lie. And the surveys have said that survey says, if you stack your money and you live below your means, you will become rich. And if you don't stack your money and you live beyond your means, you're not going to become rich at all.
Nope.
In whatever distinction that you define rich as. I promise you that. I guarantee that. Now, I want you all to go out there and become disciplined and consistent. That's what I want y'all to go out there and do. Become disciplined and consistent. Drill that in your head over and over. So let's recap everything I said because your boy's about to go because this room is, man, it's kind of hot. You know, I got the AC on. Maybe because I got this big sweater. I represent my school, Ohio University, getting my MBA there. Ohio gozaimasu. That's Japanese for good morning, by the way. It's nighttime though, but it's morning somewhere, right? But anyway, let's recap what we spoke about. When you get your money, the first thing you should do is pay yourself. Whether it's 10%, 20%, whatever it is, pay yourself first. That's what you should do before anybody else touch your money. You touched it. You worked for it. You get it first. Secondly, you use the rest, 70%, to pay for your rent and your expenses and everything else that you need to get taken care of. And the rest of it you put towards maybe a post-tax retirement eligible fund like a Roth IRA or growth stock mutual fund. I got it right this time. Like a growth stock mutual fund or something of that in that reign of, reign of investment. Because that is how you're going to end up generating more money that grows over time and be consistent with it. You continue to do that and you be consistent with it. And when you run into new cash, do you spend more?
Nope.
No, you do not spend more. You continue to live the same way that you were before. If you're happy with the way that you're living now, when you get more money, doesn't mean spend more money. Well, technically, you'll be able to spend more money because when you make more money, that means that you have more money to pay to yourself, more money to spend on expenses, but the numbers never change. That's the real point of what I'm trying to say. The numbers never change. 10%, 70, 20. You continuously keep generating those numbers regardless of how much your income grows. And you continue to live below your means and don't take on more debt than you make. And I promise you, if you keep doing that, you're going to keep racking and stacking. I promise that, man. Oh, man, I said a lot today. I hope y'all heard me. One shout out for your boy, King Freeze. Woo! Somebody called a fire, man, because I think I just lit this roar on fire right now, man, because I think I just dropped a massive atomic bomb on all you guys. You know what? I think I'm going to start getting on Clubhouse. I'm just going to be probably in the room by myself because, nobody knows me right now, but it's all good. I'm ready and we ready. And now you are ready to take on the world because you have been listening to your boy, King Freeze, right here at the Power and Science of Money podcast. And until next time, peace. How do I do it? Peace.